Speaking of cannibalism, welcome back, everybody.
Yay!
Hello! Talked about
Penis.
cannibalism in my classroom today. I'm being a good teacher.
It has been a while since we last met. I apologize for the weeks taken off due to various, um,
Vacations
Yes.
and illnesses.
yes, vacations and illnesses, we'll call
Like,
it. When last we left off, we were in. It's still the day of the regatta. It is the night
yeah,
after
it
the
is.
regatta finished. Um, you guys went to the crypt at the Temple of Joaquin, to the family crypt down there, because you heard tell of some clandestine meeting that was happening down there. Sure enough, got down there, opened the door, and came across some shady looking folks talking about some
Bullshit.
shady shit. Um, deciding that you guys had heard enough, Marcus had barged into the crypt, demanding to know what the hell was going on. After which, magical darkness filled the room, and these shady fuckers tried to flee. A bunch of countermeasures kind of went off in the chamber to try to get them to try to cover their escape, but you managed to foil the escape of two of them. Yuki tracking down one of the conspirators, who turned out to be Lucius Doro, one of the member of the Doro banking empire.
Dun.
Having dragged Lucius onto the shore of the town, some guards kind of stumbled across the scene, and Yuki made a tactical decision to let the guards take them. Not for lack of trying to follow them in to make sure that they were putting them away. They've kind of dismissed Yuki as saying, we're the law and you're not, despite all the things that you have done in the town and in the world. We still have the badge.
Fuckers.
And they took Lucius to lockup. Meanwhile, back at the crypt, you guys managed to corner another one of the conspirators, kind of knocked him out, stunned him, unmasked him, and learned the identity was none other than the head butler of the Goldwater residence, Alistair.
How could you,
Dun
Alistair?
dun.
We trusted you with our food.
We trusted you with our mousetrap.
We trusted. Oh my gosh, what has he been teaching to him? Paper napkins.
Frickin' Syrian comes around. Haha! I have become evil. Ha 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 ha.
We're not
Evil
being a
laugh.
bad goblin.
He laughs, trips, hits his head, and goes,
No, you haven't. Shut up.
"Aw." And then that's how that
Just
works.
Alistair, like that is why I did the evil things. You left me with this guy for too long. I needed revenge.
I was a nice, upstanding butler until this guy came around. Until I took a Syrian to the head.
Fucking mousetrap.
So
You entertain him for a day.
Let's bring Buddy back to the crypt.
Hey, everybody.
I think when we left off, everyone except Yuki was like out on the emergency getaway dock.
We followed.
Yeah, you guys are all the way down here.
We escaped.
You followed Professor through the long tunnel that leads to one of the canals out to the town, where there was a boat kind of moored there, that presumably Alistair was going to use to row back home. But you stopped him, you tied him up, and unmasked him. So here you are, kind of along one of the canals in the city here. You've stopped Alistair, and as Marcus kind of looks upon the scene and sees that it's Alistair under the mask, he kind of stalls quite a bit. And you see his mouth trying to work out words that aren't quite coming out as he kind of looks down at Alistair. You can tell the gears are turning. He's trying to process what's happening. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Ren is watching with interest.
I think Narco, sort of sighing, will head over to the dock and pick up like a decent sized like milk crate and bring it over and set it down and gently coax Alistair to sort of sit down and take a seat.
Should we go inside?
Back in the crypt.
Oh, but outside people could see us.
That's not a fit.
Does it seem like we're in much of an exposed place, or did they pick sort of like an out of the way corner dock
It is.
to hide
It is.
their nefariousness?
Yeah, it is pretty out of the way. So the exit of this tunnel kind of comes out to like underneath one of the many bridges. This one spanning one of the smaller canals of the city. So it is kind of tucked away from like street view, and with it being dark right now, you'd have to be like purposely looking for where you guys are at.
Yeah. Narco is not inclined to take Alistair back into the crypt where he might be able to activate the defense mechanism again.
Fair.
So he silently, but in a proper, dignified butler manner, will kind of shift himself so that he sits on this crate that you've set up for him, and he sits there, kind of with his chin up, his shoulders back in a proper sitting posture, as restrained as you currently have him. As he sits there, his eyes are pretty much locked on Marcus, just kind of observing him.
No, Narco just sighs and says, "So then, grand machinations for the wealth and prosperity of Tremonto. That's what we heard. I don't suppose you could offer anything convincing that that's indeed the case?"
Alistair kind of clears his throat. He continues to look towards Marcus, speaking to him as if he is like kind of the only other person out here. And he says, "Master Marcus, whatever you must think of this situation, you must know that I have dutifully and faithfully served your family for many years since before you were born. I need you to take it on faith that there was nothing that I would do that would harm you, your family, or either of your reputations."
Your family too, it would seem.
See, again, he kind of straightens up a bit, his eyes still locked on Marcus, and he does not respond to your comment. Marcus, you see, he clears his throat a bit, and he says, "Alistair, I don't understand. What is this all about?" And Alistair says, "There are things that happen that your young mind need not be burdened with. There are other more important things to be done that must be taken care of by your hand. This is one of those things that you do not need to be burdened with, Master Marcus. And just trust that our process has kept our family prosperous and safe for many generations." Marcus swallows and he looks around. He kind of looks at the group of you and he says, Perhaps Perhaps we should bring him to my parents.
Why? What will they do?
I don't know. I don't know, but despite what we've seen here, I have no reason to distrust Alistair.
Marcus, regardless of whether or not it was genuinely done for your benefit, how did you feel when you discovered these secrets being kept from you?
Confused, but there must be some logical explanation for this. Why there must be secretive meetings, and he's looking back at Alistair as he says this, why there must be secretive meetings, and why I couldn't know about them. If it's for the benefit of my family, I gladly would have worked together.
And you think that's fair? That you should trust them with all the secrets and all the decisions, and that they won't trust you to hear and understand and act in the best interest alongside them?
Well, it's not... I mean... I don't know if it's so much secrets as much as just... Well, I obviously... I don't know what's going on down here, but it can't be all the decisions. They're not making all the decisions. My father and my uncle, they make the decisions for the family. I'm not sure what benefits this brings down here, but I'd be willing to learn.
If you're willing to learn, then ask him now. Understand now. So that if that's what you want to, just bring him to your parents. You know what you're getting into. If he did this for genuine love of you, surely he can respect your decisions, can't he?
Marcus clears his throat, turns to Alistair, and he says, "So what is this about?" Alistair looks at Marcus straight on, a very expressionless face, and he says, "Master Marcus, have you never prayed to a god before?" Marcus, a little bit taken aback by this, and he says, "Well, sure, we pray to Joaquin all the time." And Alistair says, "There are gods other than Joaquin that keep us safe and prosperous." But like I said, that burden is not your duty to know. There are forces beyond what we can see that some of us pray to for their guidance, and it has kept Tremonto in balance for generations. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you, Master Marcus.
He's lying.
Marcus looks at you, Jane, and says, "What do you mean?"
He's lying. He's lying because I know who he's supposed to pray to, and I know that he hasn't blessed this city at all. I don't think he knows about you one bit, Marcus.
Knows about me.
Not until I told him about you. So how could he help your family if he didn't know about you?
Wait, I don't understand. What do you mean?
He's lying. Because Papa doesn't answer people like him.
Papa?
Yeah. She's gonna stare right at Alistair. Yeah, we saw your symbols out in the warehouse. We know what god you're supposed to be talking to, and he doesn't talk back.
Alistair continues to focus on Marcus. And he says, the gods always answer in their own ways.
He's not lying about that. Do you want to see if you can talk to him now? I can give you a way to make sure
Oh my gosh.
that he'll always answer you.
Marcus kind of turns to you, Jade. He looks a little bit nervous and he says, what are you going to do?
How about I just give him a blessing? Would you like that, Alistair?
Wait, what kind of blessing?
A very special blessing. Don't worry, Marcus, I won't kill him.
It kind of makes me feel like I should be worried that you're going to kill him.
I won't kill him, because I won't have to kill him. Because if it doesn't matter if he dies today, or tomorrow, or 100 years from now, I can make sure the god that he's supposed to pray to finds him. So many people get lost, you know. Crossing over. It's one of the biggest transitions you can go through in your life. And Papa's there to protect you. To make sure that you get where you're supposed to go. He was never supposed to take souls. He just guided them and guarded them. Funny things happen when other gods get in the way, though. Now he gets to bring people home. And I think Alistair would just make a great visitor. Would you like that, Alistair?
Alistair clears his throat. Again, focusing on Marcus. And he says, they do aim to kill me, you know, for reasons that are beyond my comprehension. I have not laid a finger against any one of your friends or allies or your fiancé.
Marcus, if a cleric of Joaquin came to you and said that they would offer you a blessing of the god to make sure that no matter whatever happened to you, you would always be home safe, would you turn it down?
I'm sure it would
Would
come
you-
with some kind of hefty donation requirement, I'm sure, but
Oh, I'm sure, yes.
what is
But
Red
would you-
inciting?
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is Jade.
We lost her.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's
Ren
okay.
is just doing a
You're okay.
concern.
You're okay. I'm sorry, what were you inciting?
How crazy is Jade right now? She ate herself. What the fuck?
I mean, she's holding it together, it seems, but her eyes have gone very big. Which, though they don't necessarily need to happen because she can see very well in the dark, so her pupils don't need to dilate. But her eyes have gone big, and as you're inciting, you're staring at her, you realize it's not her eyes that have gone big. They've just gone black. Not pure black. They don't look like demonic eyes. They look like Moloch's eyes. Darkness, and beyond that, starlight, and nebulas, and an infinite nothingness that reaches into something else. And she's just staring at Alistair.
Ren will make a note of this and continue to observe. Carry on. In my point.
Who would ever turn down a blessing from the god that they're supposed to worship? Unless, of course, you're not actually worshipping a god. Not worshipping a god, are you, Alistair? Not anymore, anyway.
Alistair turns to Marcus. Still locked on. He hasn't, like, his gaze has not left Marcus. And he says, the gods come in all shapes and sizes. You know this from your studies. Now, it would be a rather awkward situation if any of your friends were to try to dispatch me. I mean, how would you explain that to your parents? How would you explain that to the wedding guests?
Accident.
It'd be quite
Oh.
an awkward situation, don't you think?
Jade is slowly moving closer. Everyone gets vacation time, Alistair.
Marcus
But-
looks at you, Jade, and he says, actually, Alistair kind of prides himself on not really taking many days off.
Maybe he needs to take a day off.
Jade,
Hmm. I don't have to kill him. If you're worried about it, I can heal him first.
I was thinking, rather than a blessing, wouldn't you be able to just bring a bit of Papa here? Let Alistair be in his sights for a moment and confirm for us what we already suspect?
Oh, I can do that too. I can do that too. But this way, he never gets away. He's fast. And he's slippery. I'll give you everything that you've been praying for, Alistair. That's what you want, isn't it?
Alistair continues to not look in your direction, Jade.
She's had her arms like wrapped around herself this whole time, and she drops one, and as she drops her arm, her other hand is like grabbing at the cuff of her sleeve as she starts to pull her sleeve down. Jade's never taken her gloves off, so never once in front of anyone have she ever taken her gloves off. But she's starting to take them off right now. I think we do this first. I think we do this one first. I've given my blessing to lots of people. Most of the time they are dead. You know. Just a send-off, you know, just to make sure that no matter what, they still get safely where they're supposed to go. Her sleeve comes down to her elbow. And you can see, like, her skin starting to change from where her glove is starting to come down. She's always been pale, but the pale of, like, someone who doesn't go out in the sun a lot. It is no longer that. It is starting to turn white and bloodless and stark in the darkness here. I've never given it to someone who's still alive, but that's okay. I think it works better this way. And as she takes her glove completely off, her hands are, again, it's that bloodless, ashen color that fades into like a deep purple at her fingertips, and her nails are blue around the cuticles, and they are the hands of someone who has died. These are the hands of someone who has been left out in the cold and has nothing left to give. Yeah, I think it's better this way. And she's gonna reach out to touch Alistair unless someone stops her. Does anyone try to stop her?
Professor is.
Okay.
He'll just gently reach out and catch her hand. And he'll just look at her.
Her hand, when you touch it, is freezing. Not like, oh, someone's hand is cold. This is like, you've just reached out and grabbed ice that burns.
He'll kind of pull her hand back and clasp it between both of his hands. You feel his warmth. And he says, I'm not going to stop you. But remember what you said. You can do better.
She's gonna look at Professor for a minute. All right. I can do better. That's why I'm not going to kill him.
He'll let her hand go and step back and let her do what she's going to do.
She's going to touch Alistair's forehead. Can I get a DC? What is this? This is little. Hang on. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this just for flavor, as this here. Wait, where'd my thing go? Sorry. Oh no, I actually have to roll to hit him. Yeah, I think that does it. 23.
23 hits.
23 hits. Okay. So Jade reaches out with her fingertip, and just very lightly, she's getting closer to Alistair's skin, and it's like that needle of cold. Like when you're holding an icicle and you're playing with it, and you just and you're poking it on your skin, and it's that intense cold right on that single part of you for a moment, as she begins to trace the symbol of Moloch right on his forehead. And as she's doing that, the skin splits and opens, and necrotic energy just runs through his veins for a moment, as this is basically it's going to act like her memory spell, which is her inflict wounds. as he takes a little bit of damage while she does this, and she brands him. So Moloch will always be able to find him.
This is like an Inglourious Bastards kind of situation.
Yeah,
It
that's
leaves
definitely
like
what
a
it is.
permanent mark on his head.
It's gonna leave a permanent. It's gonna leave a permanent mark on his forehead. Yes. He's gonna take 24 points of damage. I mean, it's a wound. Like, it will heal. It's not like I'm carving into his skin or anything.
Oh,
Like,
all right.
it's basically like her inflict wounds where it happens very quickly and it's there, but it's branded into his soul when she does this. Like, she's putting this on him so that he can never get rid of it now, basically. In her mind.
As this interaction goes down, anyone with eyes on Alistair may give me an insight check. Oh, that means I should also probably roll for Marcus.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wants to know.
Do I also get to roll insight?
Yeah, you can.
22.
Okay. Each and every one of you clock a moment of kind of fear mixed with a sort of recognition in Alistair's eyes as Jade goes to touch him before the spell takes hold. He kind of freezes in place and he winces and groans as the necrotic magic kind of siphons some of his life away. And while it does hurt him, he is still up, basically. You see, Marcus kind of winces.
That's why it was just a first level spell.
Marcus kind of winces at this interaction. You can tell he's shifting a bit. He looks a bit uneasy. And he says,
It's okay, Marcus. See? And Jade lifts her finger off of him. As her finger lifts away, the wound itself closes back over. It's like it was never there, except Alistair still feels that cold that does not go away. See? Just a blessing from his god.
You know his god.
Oh, that's the reason I'm here. Why don't I go find David? I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna go find David. Don't fall into the water, Alistair.
We can't just sit here and torture him all night. He has served my family for many years. I mean, you say he's bad, but I don't really understand what he did that's bad.
Has the whole demon symbol of Moloch, like, did that just never get brought up to Marcus at any point before now? Because I'm fairly sure it has.
I mean, yeah, we saw it. We saw it at Verdant Hold.
Did we ever explain to Marcus what it was?
I assumed we had. Was that not true?
Yeah, I think we have, but yeah, there's like a touch of denial going on here, clearly.
Marcus.
Privilege.
No one wants to believe that the guy who raised him is evil. I assume he raised him just because he's rich and it's a butler.
Very much an Alfred situation, except without the dead parents, so it's kind
Except
of
not the dead parents, just the
emotionally distant.
Emotionally distant parents. Quick question, because Jade is going to go back down this hallway to find David. Can I get through that door again, or is it locked?
It is shut.
Okay, I can't find David then. I'm gonna go try it anyway.
Narco will turn to Marcus and say, if you are dealing with an archdevil, they will offer you power, wealth, your heart's desire. The only cost, as they say, is your soul. And sometimes that is a literal forfeiture, but more frequently, it's compelling you to receive those boons to do harm unto others, which will condemn your soul just through the acts itself anyway, so they get what they want, spreading misery, making people around worse off, and therefore desperate enough to maybe make their own sacrifices. We have scions from the three houses meeting here, doing something which is a great burden that the wealthy and esteemed members of the houses in control of Tremonto cannot be allowed to know of. Marcus, your family sits at the top of this town, and as you have walked around with me, you have seen that things are not all well here. As shining and glittering as it is at the top, there is labor and there is misery down below. I want to ask you, are you prepared to maybe hear and understand what sacrifices are being made on your behalf to be where you are? Alistair seems to believe that you are not, and it's better, if you are ignorant of any such things, that you simply enjoy your status wheresoever it comes from. And I'm sure Alistair is perfectly happy with that. He will gladly suffer or perform things that he does not want you sullied with to make that happen. And you can say yes. You can say that that's good enough. That's not my answer, but I can't choose for you.
I'm not sure if anybody's ready or prepared to face their family's potential deep dark secrets, but I think I have an obligation.
What is that obligation? Yours.
To know what it is that's going on and to stop whoever it's hurting.
Why? You'll never hear about it. You'll never know about it. Why does it matter to you if someone who you don't know elsewhere is hurt?
I've walked with you amongst the people of this town. Not that I haven't already seen them, but I don't think I ever really have seen them until you all came around. And I see the kind of things that, what happens when those of privilege maybe not ignore, but at least don't do everything that they can to extend a hand out to those who aren't. But it's also in the moralities of the plays that I've watched. A hero simply never lets someone else suffer when they know they can do something about it. It's just not in their nature to be that way. And if there is to be change in this town, then the chain has to be broken.
Are you prepared for the consequences of that?
That is the question. Am I prepared for the consequences? I don't know if I can say for sure, but we'll face them anyway.
Even if it means the three families, yourself included, losing their status, even if it means your parents hating you for breaking down the system that they worked hard to build, even if it means that even though this was done for the sake of the people, they may reject you anyway.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe I don't care.
I think if that is the case, you'd have to care more than anyone else, wouldn't you?
I suppose so.
Something I've had to learn on this journey, Marcus, is that oftentimes the story of a hero is still going to be a tragedy. But our story isn't finished yet. So she sort of looks over towards Alistair. She says, he knows what tragedies await you. And I do believe that he wants what's best for you. It's up to you to convince him that letting go is what you truly want. He turns back to him. It's only something you can do.
And what if he doesn't?
Then we find a way.
Marcus clears his throat. He approaches Alistair. Alistair, whatever you're doing, it must stop. Clearly, you think you're doing what's best for us, but others are being hurt, and that's not what I want. And that's not how this family is going to be once I'm in charge. Alistair looks up at Marcus and says, Master Marcus, with all due respect, you are a fool. This is how things have run for generations. And if you break it, it all comes apart. And I won't see that. I've worked too long, I've worked too hard to serve your family, to see you where you are now. Marcus looks down to him, just shakes his head, and he says, This is not what I want. This is not the way it's going to be anymore. And Alistair just sighs and hangs his head. Marcus looks around and he says, this is an awkward situation. I don't know what to do.
Narco. Oh, there you go.
Real quick question. Is Alistair human?
He's humanoid.
That was not a yes.
No. Because he said he's been working for his family before Marcus was born, and he doesn't look that old. And now he just said, this is how it's worked for generations, and he's worked too hard to get them where they're at.
Those are words that he said.
Hmm. Go ahead, Narco. I'll say my thing later.
Narco steps beside Marcus, looks at Alistair and says, you love him, don't you? Marcus and the other Goldwaters.
Alistair looks up and says, I always have.
You want to protect them?
Of course.
Oh, so he talks to Narco. I see. He's gotta be engaged to Marcus.
But the master likes you for some reason, therefore I must deal with you. The side hussy can take a hike, I don't care. She kneels down. Nothing can last forever. And I think you know that the events that have gone on tonight and the unrest boiling in the city, this will come to a head. And if Marcus doesn't have the information, the tools, or the support to help his family through that collapse when it comes, it's going to be all the worse for it. I don't know how close you've been watching him for this last week or so, but I've seen a change. I've seen that bit of a transformation from a noble whiling his days away and enjoying his status to someone who realizes that he has talents and he has power to make things better than they are. And he enjoys it. And it's scary and it's dangerous. But it's worth doing. Don't let him sit in a gilded cage until the fires all around him suffocate him.
I've dedicated my life to making sure he flourishes. As well as the rest of the Goldwaters. That dedication has not left.
Can speak. Help us.
He looks to you, Narco. He looks to Marcus. And he says, "The work is too great to be interrupted. Part of my dedication to this family is making sure that the prayers to our God are heard."
And where do those prayers come from?
There's always a little bit of sacrifice that must be made. Sacrifice can take many forms, however you interpret it.
The currency of power is blood, then.
Not always. Gold speaks volumes, of course.
Can Naruto make an insight check?
Sure, what you looking for?
Alistair seems to be, like, talking about things, but being circumscript, and Naruto's trying to figure out if he's actually trying to give information, but trying to work around, like, some limits he has inherently on what he's allowed to, like, physically talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he's just being obfuscating because he's an asshole.
Yeah, go ahead.
The answer is yes. He's a jerk.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's a hot butler jerk.
Give me an insight.
It's the 19.
Let's see. Really nothing. Okay. He seems to be dancing around the point and obfuscating what he knows. Totally did check his teeth last time. Yanked that bitch right out of his
Yeah.
mouth.
Absolutely.
I was also gonna say, because Elson also was like, "Fuck, I didn't think about Yuki checking his teeth."
Nope.
Hard to take him, and we're like, "It's totally cool. We got the other one. It's fine."
I was like in my kitchen going, check his shit! Check his shit!
No,
No, we
because I
didn't
was
got
so
it in the notes,
fucking
we took it
mad
out.
when I found out he had another of those fucking acid teeth. And I was like, really? This shit's getting around? Why does every cult have this?
Stupid. Because drugs.
I can't, right?
Ben!
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 Hello.
We love you. How are you?
We love you.
I fell asleep as soon as I got home. I apologize.
That's
I mean,
all
that
right.
happens.
All good.
How most people spent this whole week.
Yeah, pretty much.
My couch is my bed. And my nest. And the place where I eat.
Naruto will turn to Marcus and ask him, where exactly is sort of the the main treasury for the city of Tremonto.
Marcus, he kind of looks a bit confused as he asks, main treasure? I mean, that would be at the Palazzo di Tremonto, where Lady Amelia resides.
And that's where all three of the main houses sort of jointly holds their the bulk of their finances.
Well, no, not quite. That would be most of the banking is done through the Doro the Doro banking network. There are several banks throughout the city. It's all ledgers and things like that. Safe deposit boxes and various deposit locations throughout the city.
And then there is the sizable donations that have gone to the Church of Joaquin, which is why the whole heavily fortified crypt exists.
Yes.
What? I think I need to make like a finance rule. Or maybe a prerequisite religion rule. I'm trying to figure out if someone was going to, like, say your patron is Mammon, the archdevil of greed, who, definitely takes sacrifices from his followers in the form of gold, like, how one goes about transferring those funds.
Yeah, I think a religion check would be fitting.
Cool. Can Naruko ask Jade to help her with this? What with being familiar with clerical things and devils?
Yeah,
Or is Jade still in a different headspace right now?
I would say Jade could help if she wants to.
Oh my gosh, I have been muted. Sorry. Jade is in a different headspace right now, but is still aware and actively participating in this conversation. So her eyes are still spooky and her gloves are still off, but she will, as Naruko broaches the question to her, start talking about what she knows about gods and transfers of things. Malek's whole thing, even though it's not his doing, is the sacrifice of other souls in his name. So, but you can pay people to do those sacrifices for you, and so she'll go that way. And then if she talks about the devils of greed and lust and the things that they want, how they would go about getting their coins and things like that. So yes, I'll absolutely help you. Freak Marcus out about how much he knows about devils.
I think we're well past the freaky Marcus out stage of getting to know Jade.
He's holding it together real well. Between Jade and Ren, he's locked in.
Cool.
Become the less scary one. Do you know how funny that is?
Honey, you've always been the less scary one. You got cool shiny antlers.
So pretty.
So Naruko will add a flash of genius onto her roll here. For a cross-section of religious and business interest roll to get her a cool 27.
Okay.
As she tries to ponder
Amazing.
and look for a eureka moment to figure out how exactly this cult of Moloch might be trying to transmute the general oppressive suffering of the lower classes into a sacrifice to a fiendish patron. If I were not the one moral capitalist in all of fiction, how would I do this?
Maybe drug their water supply.
It's really just capitalism. That's it.
So
Going with another cult, just
Like
Take
like
on the
is
country.
is literally like going around and like stalling out the efforts of a like recycling construction business. Is that merely just sort of that dickholish action? Is that a form of worship that empowers the patron? Like I'm genuinely curious.
So
It's an act
20,
of suffering.
27.
Wow.
As far as kind of like sacrifices of gold is concerned, Moloch really isn't that kind of god. As Jade mentions, there may be some gold that exchanges hands if someone doesn't want to get their own hands dirty, but that's really more of a business transaction than it is a religious one. Religious transactions, your typical, donations like the Temple of Joaquin. Donations go to the temple. It's disseminated amongst the clergy. They stash it away, or they spend it to,
Better.
Yeah.
Better their flock.
So I think it would strike you that Alistair mentioning about gold sometimes talking louder, being more valuable, is a bit of a red herring in this situation, but there is definitely a sacrificial element to what is going on here. Now, it could be the sacrificing of, somebody else's business. Now, it could be like how devils and demons were being pulled into the building at Verdant Holdings just to trash the place. It's basically sacrifice of somebody else's livelihood to try to strengthen their own, not just through a religious means, but also because you're destroying the competition. So obviously, it gives you a bit of a business advantage in that case. But there are evil entities out there that thrive on the suffering and the pain of others, and the more that you can raise, the stronger that they become, and perhaps it does grant them some kind of boon in return. But as anyone could pretty much gauge, these sorts of stories never really end well, even for the party making the original bargain. The check at some point always comes due. And there is the obvious element of potential blood sacrifice as well.
I mean, always. I mean,
Yeah,
that's never off the table.
of course.
I mean, look, cannibalism shows up every time too. I mean, why not just add that to the mix?
Right?
Waste not.
So as you guys are questioning Alistair and kind of pondering the things that he's saying, I do want to check in with Yuki. So this whole thing has gone down. You've led Lucius off to the guards. The guards have taken him away. I think I think there was a sending or something between yourself and the party to kind of clue you in as to where they were.
It was the twin note.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the twin note. That's what it was.
Yeah, Yuki updated him on the twin note.
We did reply.
Was Yuki going to make her way to the rest of the party, or was there another meetup place that you guys were going to kind of get together at? I don't remember if that was settled or not.
Yeah, I don't remember if there was a reply from Yuki, from the party back to Yuki, because you guys were a little occupied.
I think there was.
I don't remember.
I think we told Yuki that we had, because this was happening simultaneously with our fight.
Right.
And let's see. Yuki sent us the message. She says she's on her way back.
Okay.
And so Yuki said she was coming back, and we just let her know that we had finished our fight. I don't think Yuki knows it's Alistair because we hadn't yet yanked his mask off.
Yeah.
So when Yuki sent her thing out was when Naraka was dragging the boat back in.
I think Yuki would definitely make her way back, back to where they're at.
Okay. Yeah, for the ease of getting the party back together, we'll say Yuki has made her way around the canals and different alleys and stuff, and manages to find you guys in the darkness.
Okay.
Honestly, we probably could have told her, like, we came out of this area, and
Yeah.
she probably
Yeah.
just found it.
Yeah, we're around the temple to the left or whatever.
Oh, the temple to the left, where that big red brick house is. Then Yuki goes, there's tons of brick houses out here, which is terrible to put in a place full of water, and brick absorbs.
Right.
So as Naruko contemplates the religiosity of
Well done. Well done.
sure of what Alistair's spouting off, I think Yuki, you kind of approach the party and you see that they're all out on this dock by this boat that's moored by the tunnel exit, and you see Alistair sitting on a milk crate.
He looks salty.
Is he one of them?
It's something.
Jade just standing creepily next to Ren.
It is having an interesting evening.
It's fine. I think walking up, Yuki will kind of see Alistair and kind of just like narrow her eyes at him, just like, you motherfucker. But she's not going to say anything because, again, she's still trying to not embarrass Naruko. So I think she'll clock him there, not say anything as far as like other than like the updates she gave them as to like, you know, where he was at and the whole like they took him and she couldn't get to him and all that stuff. That'll be saved till later because she doesn't want to let Alistair know kind of where she's been or what happened.
Smart.
So that he can fucking wonder, bitch.
How do you
I
really
think
feel?
he will kind of look at Naruko and say, we can debrief the rest of my evening once there are less ears around.
So far, we've learned a few things, including the fact that at least on the Goldwater side, my engagement was largely for the purpose of sacrificing the wealth and reputation of my family business to feed the fires, keeping an ancient demonic pact to keep the ruling powers on top here.
That's a really stupid plan when they didn't count for you, huh, Naruko?
I think hearing ancient demonic pact, I think Yuki will look towards Jade to kind of like, is she okay? Like,
Eyes are
What do
completely
you think?
black.
yeah,
Jade,
yeah.
Jade just looks back at Yuki, just eyes full of stars. And just...
It looks like you've had an interesting evening as well. Jade, is
I can't
like-
get the door open
which door?
back in that way. David's still in there.
There's, of course, an easy way to get the door open, and Ren looks meaningfully at both Alistair and Marcus.
If we're not going to drown him in the river, we probably should go back inside.
We are in a bit of a vulnerable position here. Should someone come around on the canals, going back inside is probably a good idea.
What do you want to do with him?
That will depend entirely on whether we believe that Marcus's parents and his uncle, on whether they also have been left in ignorance as to the machinations being worked on their behalf, or if they are aware and are complicit.
Jade, like, tilts her head at Alistair. Marcus, how old is Alistair?
Marcus kind of blinks and he says, 60s, I think? We've celebrated birthdays with him, but he's never shared what his birth year was.
Because he keeps talking about generations. And you're related. Somehow.
Related?
He opened the door. Doesn't that mean he has to be a Goldwater?
Marcus kind of blinks and looks at Alistair and he says, Alistair, are you a Goldwater?
Unless devotion is enough to make you a member of the family.
Alistair looks at Marcus and says, I've always been a Goldwater. Heart and mind and soul.
And blood.
He remains silent at that remark.
Marcus, you said when you got married to Nariko that she would be able to come inside because she'd be part of the family.
Yes, that's true.
So did maybe Alistair marry someone at some point in time? Or is he a direct part of your family?
Professor, you do not detect any of those creature types.
Okay.
Alistair says looks at Marcus and says, my dedication to your family for as many years as I served you is what makes me a Goldwater. So yes, I do have the ability to open the crypt with a prick of my finger.
Would it be insight check or arcana to
Yeah.
speculate on that?
Probably Arcana.
Oh, thank you.
What's Professor's Arcana for?
I needed to roll a 12 or higher to use the Mizium apparatus.
Ah, yes.
Arcana for Narco is 27. I can make that higher.
What he's saying isn't untrue. Years of service to a family, can endear someone. Maybe it might be a stretch of the imagination to think that it could, bypass magical locks or something, but along the way, there has to be some kind of acceptance on the family's part in order for someone to be considered part of the family.
The magical arcane lock does not care about your feelings. I need legal authorization.
Need the contract signed.
The contract signed, the adoption papers are certified.
Oh god, fucking Kenneth comes out, dives out from the water to explain in excruciating detail.
No, this is the time for Kenneth.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious if Kenneth just showed up. Where is Kenneth?
Yeah, now, while we're busy interrogating the butler, he's just like, do we have a permit for this?
I'll go file it.
Not to totally discount the fact that there could actually be familial blood involved.
I mean, honestly, my first speculation was that Alistair was, like a bastard product of an affair.
Right?
But, it's like, well, we'll keep you in the family, but like as a butler, so like you can kind of sort of enjoy the status, but also like we don't have you out and about being a liability for inheritance purposes.
Right.
The simple explanation.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what people have gotten up to. What great granddad do?
But I'd say it is pretty clear by this point that Alistair does not seem to be in the business of giving direct answers.
Yes. Narco will say that devotion to a house can certainly play a part, but for the arcane wards on this crypt, some sort of proper familial acceptance would have to be done. And she looks at Alistair and she says, it's also possible that our friend here does have the blood, but not the name.
Who do you think he's after
But
today?
years and years and years of devotion assure that he remains within their good graces. I know that if I had my family connected with some sort of deeply entrenched blood pact with malignant entities, having someone of that blood but expendable to handle all of the unpleasantness would be useful.
Unless he's the one who's been looking to get the name all to himself.
He actually directly addresses you this time, Jade. And he says, I must respond that is a direct assault on my character.
I'm not sorry. He didn't like that, but he didn't seem to mind when you suggested that he was expendable to everyone else.
We were all expendable to somebody else, are we not?
No.
No.
Then you are deluding yourself.
Who's expendable to you, Alistair?
I don't get to make those decisions.
Who does?
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Yeah.
12.
He seems sincere in his response. You get the feeling that he's, as much as he has served, as important as he seems to be to whatever is going on, he definitely sees himself as low man on the totem pole.
Hey, can Ren do any type of check to see like how close this guy is to any deity, or if any deities or powers have been touching him or anything like that? Influencing him directly? No is always an acceptable answer. I'm trying to think outside the box.
Religion check.
Let's try it. Boop, boop, boop,
Oh, this
boop.
guy's just not giving us answers.
Yeah, he's really not.
And we're just like, who are you?
That was shitty. I just got a 7. I don't know shit.
He does have a kind of zealot-like trait to him.
Oh, he does, but that doesn't mean much to Ren. Most of these humans we've met are zealots. They're crazy.
He's either like the guy behind the chair, pretending he's not, or he's doing things the bidding of other people, and it's so frustrating that we don't know which one is the correct answer.
I think he is the chair.
We think he's a chair.
I think he is the chair.
I mean, we'll speculate after, but I kind of agree because the other person here was like the son of the other, or the cousin or whoever he is, the son of like the other house. Why would Alistair be here if he wasn't someone important?
Yeah.
My vote is still on. We're gonna take over the family names, kind of a thing.
Okay. Ren and my crazy idea is that he is actually the foundation upon which the family is built, and he has been lurking for years, trying to maintain their power. He is the chair.
Grandpa.
Yeah, he's the chair.
Oh, I like that so much better. Okay, I go in with yours. I think yours is better. That one's cool.
Don't die, Jenna.
Just looking at Alistair, how closely does he resemble, the founding father of the Goldwater clan?
Who died mysteriously or just disappeared. I never loved my kids. Money.
Oh, please, he went to the crypt. That's where he is now.
Oh, shit, that's right. Quick, someone do an identify on Alistair. What is he?
I don't have that ability.
I don't either.
I mean, I've always kept identify on my spell list for artificer reasons. I don't know that it would tell me anything unless he's like actively under a spell effect.
Yeah.
So Marcus kind of
It'd be so much easier if we were the type of party where we would just got this guy, throw his body in the river, and then be done with it.
Call your fairy godmother. She'll do it for you.
She's already invited to the wedding. She will be here.
And she will do it for you. That's your wedding gift to her. Lovely.
Like when Jade was going forward to start doing her quote unquote blessing, I was putting odds on whether or not this is the thing that ruins any chance of Narco and Marcus being together.
Because Jade killed Alistair?
No, more of a y'all are too intense. Y'all are too scared.
Yeah. No, Jade wasn't gonna kill him.
I mean, Marcus has definitely picked up that there is something personal going on here with Jade, for sure.
Yeah.
He just doesn't fully grasp it.
He's like, okay, she's got issues. That's fine. I have issues. I'm in theater. I get it.
Marcus is kind of stuck, and I think you can see it on his face, especially Narco, with you being so close to him. You can see that he's kind of stuck in this place between like denial and knowing that he has to do something, and he's just kind of like in an analysis paralysis kind of situation at the moment.
I think Yuki again will kind of prompt everyone and say, if we do have more questions, and it sounds like we do have more questions, again, I would advise getting inside a building. We don't know who is on the other side of the canal or who could come up the canal.
Yuki's right, and I need to get David.
Marcus looks at you, Yuki, and he says, I don't know if we can get back in from this way. I mean, those tunnels look like they're meant to be just one way only.
His boat was waiting out here. How do you think it got here? How did they get into the temple without everyone knowing?
Same way we did.
Well, Marcus chimes in and says, well, that's kind of the thing, is that they were spotted. I think they went in the front door like an Anybody else would.
And where's Seppi with her make a door?
The Melon Megador.
I don't know. We've got 2 clerics in the party. What if we don't take?
I know, right? I don't have it yet.
I feel so bad. Ren used to make a door to trap the crackhead.
Yeah.
I only had one make a door, and I used it on that, and I thought it was a good idea at the time.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
It made me happy.
Yeah, I don't have any way to get through this door. Well, can Marcus and Narka go back upstairs and open the door from inside?
Yeah, we
It's a
can
logical idea.
go around the front. We also need to pick up Brutus. I need to pick up RV. Go pick up the lead.
I forgot about Brutus. I'm sure he's quite alone by now.
I forgot about Brutus.
I think he's still standing at the top of the stairs. I hope he probably fell asleep.
Narka didn't forget about Brutus. She was kind of, while we were in the shit there, she was kind of like, it'd be really nice to have the meat shield here right now.
He's just upstairs. Man, Uno sucks.
I don't even
He's just
remember
whooping
where
him.
Syrian is at this point.
Yuki is not
Brutus is
surprised
mouth
that Yuki's not surprised that Brutus is useless because he's not
Oh my
correct.
gosh.
So she's not surprised that he continues to be useless.
How about that?
Yuki's racist against orcs in the most peculiar way now.
She really is.
I think it's a bias more than a
If you're gonna be
racist thing.
racist, at least make it fun.
What's life without being a little quirky? I don't know what you want from me.
Yuki met one of the most stereotypical orcs ever, decided that he was great actually, and now
Okay.
judges every orc by whether or not they match up to that stereotype.
He simps
Yeah,
for her.
and?
Of course she likes him.
And
He was the master simp, okay?
Master Sim.
I'll say, if you guys want to go back into the crypt, yeah, I mean, you could send Marcus and whoever else you want along to go kind of like go back around, go back inside, go back in, and kind of open the door. I mean, that's, you know, you would be clear to do so if you wanted to take that route.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Brutus would likely still like. No, I think Brutus would come down.
Oh, come on. I was hoping Brutus and Arby were playing some type of game of cards against each other. And Arby was
Great.
whooping him.
So moving
again,
back here.
of course, Arby would be beating him. Again.
Yeah, we're kind of in a rough spot here, gang, because unless we want to dump Alistair into like private custody, which will be noticed because he's the head butler, we can go to the Goldwaters and hope that every single one of them is totally cool and not involved with this, which is a
Seems somewhat
big ask.
unlikely.
Or we go full crazy and we go assault the Red Hoods right now and hope that by beating the ever-loving snot out of their operations and whatever void shenanigans are going on, we uncover a bunch of extra information that we can use to like implicate all the relevant people to the authorities, assuming the authorities are also not on the take.
I hope you have more spell slots than I do, if that's the
I
plan.
was just gonna say, I while I love a good, let's fuck shit up.
Yeah, we do most of our shit.
Yeah, Yuki's got her.
Yuki used all of our shit.
Yeah.
I am down to bullets in a dream at this point, okay? Like,
Okay,
I am
no,
better.
I don't wanna
I'm
be
simply
friends with
outlining
that.
the options
Have a nap.
and
We'll have a nap
explaining why all of them are pretty bad for us right now. Like,
Okay,
I
that's
think
fine.
of all the options, we have to go after the Red Hoods next. We know they're connected. If Alistair's not talking, or not talking well, that's the next place that we can go. Those echoes really like to twist the knife when they get the chance.
True.
yeah. We also know for a fact that the Echoes had instructions to make use of the Cult of Moloch as a proxy for their own ends.
So they might know more about who it is they needed to be using. If it is just Alistair and a couple others, then we can take care of it a little more leisurely. But if it's not, then we have that going for us, and we can go into that a little more informed.
Also, we're sort of on the clock, and that whichever ones got away are probably rallying whatever forces they have to prepare for us. So,
Maybe. Well, we could stay here for the night.
I do not disagree. That is a logical
Well-
plan.
Actually, maybe not, because Alistair knows how to make the thing in the ceiling. Oh. Did we take his ring? Jay's gonna take his ring.
You got his ring.
That was the thing that lit up.
I've
Smart.
gagged up while we take a nice little nap down here. It's not the worst plan. At least it's quiet here.
If we do take him back to the Goldwaters, he wouldn't be able to call out to anyone. There's no magic that can get in and out of the house.
If there is something to get in and out of that house, I have no doubt he is the one who would know how to do it. Using the master of his element there, it is not an ideal place to keep him as a prisoner.
The greatest danger with going to the Goldwaters without a clear understanding of who is and is not aligned with all this nonsense is he could be very easily freed, and then they muster their resources to make our lives very difficult.
It's true.
I propose we give him to the goblins. They did very well with Mousetrap.
We could put him on the ship.
The ship that's currently docked right outside the Goldwaters headquarters.
We might need to move the ship.
Last place they would look, maybe.
You have
Don't have
priority because of winning
Docking
the,
rights? Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Because of winning the regatta, you have priority free docking pretty much anywhere in the city.
Oh hell yeah.
We could just put him somewhere. We could just put him on the ship and have the goblins sit on him.
That could work.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I have faith in the goblins. They're very motivated by money and not dying. That's
I mean,
motivators.
The other
Yeah.
option would be stay down here, but then whoever got away could come back.
Yeah, no,
Let him out.
we're not stashing him here for sure.
Red's okay with staying down here. He likes it, but he gets the point.
Oh, Cal, why have you not opened a siren song here?
Right?
Oh my gosh, where's Cal?
I mean, he'll be here, apparently, providing entertainment.
Wait. On a nearby idea, what if you visit your fairy godmother?
But-
On a worldly plane.
No, that would require a bargain to
Ooh,
extract a favor.
let's make a bargain with him. We could give her to him as a and to her as a gift.
He's not a very good gift, is the problem. That might be taken as an insult.
Fair point.
I think my aura is down now.
I think possibly the ship with the goblins might be the best idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have not really... We have allies in the city, but none of them
Not powerful enough to
really
hold
have
him.
the resources to, like, provide a bolt hole for us, as far as I know.
What about the warehouse?
You see Marcus's eyebrows kind of go up, and he says, "Well, we could use Tupac's dock." Sometimes they have to ship in materials and set pieces, and I mean the canals are the best way to do it.
Of course.
You
I
just
suppose
wanted
usually it's
duck.
quiet. He absolutely did let him go. That was having fun.
Fuck that.
The Tupac duck.
Tupac duck.
I mean, it seems like the ship is the most sensible place to store him. If that's the easiest dock for us to make use of, we might as well.
I'm imagining the most oddball conversation between Alistair, the goblins, Syrian, and Silas.
That's where Syrian is. He's watching Silas.
Right!
That's
Oh, good,
right.
Silas! That's where we put him.
Oh
Grimgar
god, I
baby.
forgot. Oh,
We
damn it.
adopted him
Why did-
too, right.
Mhm.
Because Silas is also on the ship right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
he is.
God,
It's gonna be
I
great.
really wish
Ship's
it
gonna be so
wasn't.
awesome. Starting to get crowded in there, huh?
Okay.
So glad we stole a ship.
We're still a bad guy ship. There's plenty of prison space on this ship.
Technically, we commandeered it. Let's be honest.
We stole it. We murdered people and then took it. It's ours now.
We paid money to get it out of the dock. It was that docking feed. Commandeered.
I basically, I more, you know how the government sometimes like puts on auction, vehicles and stuff that were like repossessed in like
Yeah.
crime busts and stuff. That's literally how we acquired this ship. We got
Yeah,
it for a
pretty much.
steal.
That's true.
Safe
And then we
auction,
murdered
man.
the people who used to own it.
Like I went up and heard how desperate they were to get this ship out of their docks, and I got this thing for like a 90% discount, if that.
Did it was beautiful.
The you could hear the dread in Joe's voice as he realized how excited I was.
I got a boat. Hey, why haven't we made it the Corvus as our little icon that goes around the map instead of Kashanti's wagon? We should do that.
I need to find a little Corvus icon.
Find a little
The
Black Corvus
boat.
icon.
A boat.
We need that boat.
I'll find one.
Right. Sorry,
Yeah,
I just
so-
thought that was a good idea.
So the general state of the Union for Mystic Mechanicus is, while we haven't been sort of declared outlaws by the state of Tremonto, we kind of need to
We're
operate
about
under
to.
the assumption that the powers that be want us out or dead.
Probably. Mhm.
So
Or at
we're just
least
gonna-
they want you to be able to be used for something.
I mean, yeah, sure, fuck them. But the point of fact, at the very least, powerful people within the three big families know that we are onto them and could make our lives very, very unpleasant. So we are going to hold off on any of that, and we are going to instead pivot to the other powerful evil conspiracy in this town and hope that if we deal with them, we will somehow resolve the other problem.
Sounds fair to me. I love
feel
it.
like I feel like you're right though. If the Void cult was instructed to use this one, they have to know who the players were in it. At least some of the top people.
Right.
Someone has to have some sort of answer. If we're lucky, it was just the three people we found down here. And someone, she looks at Alistair, might have been the oldest and was orchestrating the whole thing. If we're not lucky, then these were just the people that were sent today, and we have more people to uncover.
Right. So, it's not a good plan, but it's what we got. Unless Alistair suddenly finds a heart and decides to be more cooperative, that's what we've got to work with. Any other thoughts, counter proposals?
I would just like to say that I hate this city.
I think the city's been very nice. It's just some of the people in the city have not been great.
Hmm.
I think the city has potential. The problem is the entrenched power structure is afraid of change.
Hmm.
And that's not great because we showed up.
I never thought I'd be running a socioeconomic plot in a game.
There we are again!
I never thought that'd be a thing.
Sometimes the gods do work in mysterious ways.
Just Joe is looking over at his notes and being like, okay, no, I had it right the first time where like every city basically like just didn't have a government because oh boy does it just makes things so much more confusing.
How we usually operate.
And here I thought that going to deal with the Moloch cultists would be the simpler of the two.
Right.
Joke's on you.
Until it turned out one of them was the butler of the family you're about to marry into.
I mean,
Oh, that's awkward.
whoever was revealed to be behind that mask was gonna be a problem for us. Let's be
I know.
real.
And let's be honest. If it had turned out to be like Oliver, we'd be like, oh well, he's obviously the one in charge. But now it's Alistair, and we're like, what are you doing? You're a butler. What is happening?
What's the game here?
You're either the mastermind behind it all, or you're a pawn in someone else's game, and we have to keep playing.
Honestly, you'd think that we gave Joe the opportunity, like, you can have your dude monologue at us, like, we're asking for it, and then he's like, no.
No, this time.
This time,
No.
this one's like, nah, you don't
I
deserve
want
my
a monologue today.
Alistair's quite tight-lipped.
He's
I want a
tight-lipped.
monologue.
He also understands that he kind of has still a bargaining position here. So he's acting intelligently, which is why I was trying to leverage Marcus as an emotional bargaining chip to get him to break.
He's one of those bad guys where he's like, he's got the emotion there, but the logic overrides it. So he's like, no.
I hate when that happens.
I hate when the bad guys are smart.
This is the problem. Like, lawful evil, everyone thinks of, like, the big, terrible tyrant who imposes their will, but honestly, you know, you need those underlings who just are willing to give up their autonomy to the system in order for the whole bureaucracy of evil to work. You know, it's really these guys like Alistair who are the unsung heroes who keep the trickle-down oppression going strong.
Hero is not the word I would use, but okay.
You're right. It's an unsung villain, actually,
Runt.
which is even
The
more
word is
tragic.
runt. Unless it's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I hope Alistair's happy. I'm going to take Marcus on a trip to go assault a horrible death cult, and if the young ward dies, it is absolutely his fault for doing so. Yep.
Brutus is just there like, I leave you alone for 15 minutes. This is why.
Yeah, we probably also need to have a talk with Brutus of like, look, if you're in on the conspiracy, that's fine. I just need you to like.
That'd be a
You
problem for
can
us.
even bounce. I do not give a shit. Like, you probably want to leave town like right now. It's not going to get better for anyone.
Brutus just sits there like, what the fuck are you talking about?
If Brutus is literally just like,
I'm supposed to protect him from the Red Hoods. You're taking him right in there. What is going on?
I mean, if Brutus is literally just like, I just get big coin to like look tough next to the noble and beat up people occasionally. Like, I'm cool. I'm like, cool. I can work with this.
Yes. I can work with this. I also have coins. Take these. And sit over there. So are we sleeping here for the night, and then sending people for the boat, loading Alistair into it, and then going to Tupac? Or are we doing that tonight, and then sleeping at Tupac?
I will send a twin note message to the boat, tell them to redock over by Tupac. If anyone asks, some combination of we want to clear up some dock space by the villa, or wedding preparations and any guests who might arrive, but also Naruko and Marcus got some weird idea about a stage play, and they're very excited about it. So we've got to go load cargo over to the Tupac. I honestly think that story would be completely believable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So here's the thing about having won the Tremonto Crown. Nobody's gonna question shit.
I love that.
I'm not worried about the docking authorities at Tupac. I'm worried about anyone at Tremonto Manor.
Oh, okay.
Like, why'd you go? We wanted to see a thing.
Don't worry, Goldwaters. We're just doing crazy young kid stuff.
I mean, we did disappear on the night of the big regatta celebration, and apparently we needed our boat to like move over to the fucking liberal arts college. I can already imagine some people being like, "Oh, they wanted to avoid like a walk of shame."
Oh yeah, they're walk of shaming and drugging it is what's
There
happening.
you go. Sounds great. I love it. I'm down for this story.
That's great.
Look, we literally have until like breakfast before the fact that the butler is missing is going to be noted by the Goldwaters. Like,
Yeah. We get there, they have the backup butler already ready to go. He's been stuck in a closet for 30 years. He's like,
Oh, trust me, Palazzo Goldwater is in.
we had to get Jiminy out of retirement to come here
Good
today.
amount of storage, huh?
Yeah, they have no shortage of help.
I mean,
Then just
I
like
have like women coming and serving us drinks every time our drink was empty, and ranch.
we go back to Palazzo Goldwater like a day later. We find it in shambles, it's a burning wreck, and it's just like, oh no, the demons must have attacked us. Like, no, our butler was gone.
Her butler was
Yeah,
gone. I
that's
didn't know how to
awesome.
change my tie.
Oh, Catherine tried to cook, didn't she?
Too busy thinking about horses.
Her milk,
Gather
okay? It was bad. Ren does not want her to ride him. He is uncomfortable with the suggestion.
Phrasing.
What I said.
Could I ride you?
No,
So,
no touching.
so the plan is we're gonna spend the night in the crypt. You're gonna stow Alistair. Come the next day, you're gonna stow Alistair on the ship. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think Narco wanted to get to the ship like meow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
We get to send the ship up to Tupac. We take Alistair to Tupac and load him on the ship. I have greater visibility for a minute. I could cast, so.
Alternatively, you could send the ship up the canal that's next to where the crypt is here, and you could just
Load him up.
zip out the back
Oh.
door and just.
Even
float on
Yeah,
out.
let's do that. Let's do that.
That's a good plan. Let's do that.
We'll say Marcus suggests that.
Whoa, he's gotta be smart.
No, Marcus.
That
Marcus,
flicker with
Marcus,
disbelief.
like the whole 30 seconds listening to us find a way, like talk about how to sneak Alistair up, and he's like, "You could, this canal is connected. You
Listen,
could just."
Marcus does have an intelligence of 14. He's not,
Big brain.
Ren is not
just
convinced
six
of that
on-
yet.
I know what I'm doing.
he's
Big brain, Marcus.
Cute. He's so cute. He's not at 14.
so big.
Damn, Narco.
Big brain.
Mine's 15.
What's his charisma? Are we allowed to know that? Or is
Bigger, Marcus.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. He's an 18.
18? Okay. So equally hot to Narco. Good
Oh yeah,
plan.
sure.
He's himbo energy coming out.
A little bit.
Okay, so under cover of darkness, once again, Marcus will open. He will touch the spike, break his finger. He will open the statue door. Statue slides aside. You kind of usher Alistair out into your ship, load him up, and then float on over to Tupac. Are you guys spending the night on the ship, or do you want to go? Marcus can lead you inside the Performing Arts Center. There are, they're like green rooms and stuff that you can check up in, or you can go to the inn that's nearby as well. It's completely up to you. Whatever arrangements you want to make.
I think Jade stays on the ship so she can sit down there watching Alistair. That's not creepy.
I think, given the choice, just because Naruto's in paranoia mode, she'd probably be inclined to stay on the ship.
Yep. Ship sounds good.
Yeah, ship's good.
Circle the
Been a
wagons,
minute
baby.
since we've been on it, so might be
Um,
nice.
Do you allow Marcus and Brutus to stay there as well?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's in my room. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, I just gotta ask. I don't want to assume. That's all I'm saying.
Brutus is not in Yuki's room.
Obviously.
Wow, that's reserved for Gorak.
And 20 stars.
Brutus is
Okay.
like sitting against the door jamb, sleeping outside of Marcus and Naruto's cabin.
Ren will offer him a pillow that Ren does not use.
Brutus just looks up at you, just gives a nod. Just, appreciative.
Ren's excited. He gets to go back and sleep in his hammock. He loves his hammock. Haven't had hammock in a few days. Had to deal with a bed. Really bad. It was a really big bed, though. Credit where it's due.
Very good.
Oh, no, wait. I was out in the orchard the whole time. Never mind. I was having a great fucking time. I ate all the apples.
The apples will have time to replenish.
Oh, the apples might grow back! I'm gonna be gone for a night or two! Hey, they're gonna have some for the wedding now!
Grounds crew working feverishly.
Trying to use all the magic they can to cook more
for the
apples.
wedding.
The orchard has been decimated. Was it a plague? No. It was that centaur.
No, a centaur.
Yeah, so you make your way out of the crypt, you float on up to Tupac, and everybody settles down for the evening. You all get your long rest.
Hey,
Yay!
God.
Spells. I have them again.
Oh,
So
sorry,
nice.
spell slots. I actually had quite a few spell slots left because I did
not.
fuck all in that fight. The biggest thing that I did was hurt Alistair while he was tied up. That's what I did.
Yuki did a lot.
Yuki did do a lot.
Monk's
You
got
did
tricks,
a lot.
man. Monk's got
Yeah.
tricks for days.
Damn.
It's good.
Matrix.
It's going to get so much crazier once Yuki gets her 5.5 stuff.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
It's gonna be insane.
Literally, a reaction on every turn to just deflect attacks.
That's hot.
Nope.
Yes.
I will take off a D10 plus like 11 from that damage. Let's say.
No touch.
No,
No touch, Yuki.
Can't touch this.
No touch.
Bad.
Bad touch. Bad touch.
Yeah, so long rest. Get your abilities back, your hit points back. Anything that comes back on at the dawn of a new day. Don't forget about your items as well, if they have any recharges or anything like that. You guys got a shitload of stuff. Before the next morning, is there anything that you guys want to do before you settle down for the night, or over the course of the night? Is there anything that anyone is looking to do before the next day?
Go ahead.
I got something, but it doesn't have to be first. Did you have something to do?
Jade's just gonna she's just going to sit. I assume Alistair's down in the hole, so she's just going to post up on one of the chairs out there, curl up with David, and just watch him.
Totally not on.
She hasn't put her gloves back on yet, so.
Absolutely not on something.
I think he'll probably just kind of sit there. He'll sit like with his back leaning against one of the walls, and he'll just stay quiet, just keep to himself, and sit up straight throughout the night with his eyes closed.
I think Jade, every time he starts to fall asleep, wakes him up, so he can't rest.
Dude.
So are you going to
I
rate the
will-
level of exhaustion for yourself?
I will. I mean, I'll get my rest in. I'll
Oh,
take
you
my
only
long
need 4
rest.
hours.
I only need 4
Yeah.
hours. He needs more.
Yeah.
So just as the night goes, and she just messages him, and just in his brain, and it's just the same kind of sound it would make as if it was the Toll the Dead, but just coming from Jade.
I didn't have my money on Jade to be the evil one in the group.
If you had let her, she'd have killed him.
Oh, I believe that.
She made those intentions well known.
This will be the second night for Naruto and Marcus to share a room together.
Mm-hmm.
How's he doing? How's the little baby boy? How's his emotional state?
He's got the nervous shakes.
You can see that he is a bit troubled. His thoughts are racing. He is a little bit more silent than usual. you can kind of tell that it's a bit of a feeling of he's having conflicted feelings of wanting to trust somebody who has always been, personally with him, helping raise him his entire life, but also fighting a bit of betrayal, even if he doesn't fully understand or doesn't seem to fully understand what the extent of that betrayal is. So he talks a lot about how do you know or how do you know that someone is who you think they are? And how could someone hide so much of themselves from you when that's not the way it's supposed to be? And the bigger question, what the hell do we do with him?
As far as the first part, Naruto will say that we're supposed to love and trust our family. It's hard to ever cast suspicion on them. We want them to be wonderful people, because we've seen them be wonderful people. It doesn't mean that's who they are all the time. No person is any one thing. We have different sides. And it's a lot easier to be deceitful simply by showing a side of you that is real, but just for one person. As for what to do with him, I don't really know. Until we know the extent of what exactly he's responsible for, can he really cast a judgment?
I'm still on the fence. Maybe it is best that we don't let him quite go home yet, but we can't keep him captive forever. I can cover his whereabouts for maybe a day or two with my parents, under the guise of he's running around putting last minute preparations on our wedding. I can at least explain his absence for that long, but if it goes more than a few days, I don't know. I think we're gonna have to come up with something better.
At that point, we may just have to step into the hornet's nest. We may have to go to your parents, to your uncle, and say that we know we found what Alistair was doing, and leave it to them to have the same choice he had on whether they can explain themselves, whether they plead innocent, truthfully or not, or whatever they do in that moment. Because I don't think we can take care of this alone. Not right now. Not without knowing who is involved, what they've been doing, and who we can rely on to support us.
I hate that this feels like it makes everybody a suspect. People I'm supposed to trust. People we're all supposed to trust.
Do you understand why I've been so very focused on understanding how Tremonto works, what its people are involved with, how power and coin flows here? Because I want to be a leader who my people can trust. Because I am aware of all these things and trying to do the best for them.
I see.
There is a fourth option that I didn't talk about.
What's that?
We take the ship and we leave. We say that this is too much. We take those people with us that we want. We head out from Tremonto and go anywhere else in the world and try and do something.
Do you truly believe that's a viable option?
Viability is questionable, sure, but it is always an option. Whenever you're faced with insurmountable odds, danger around every corner, no clear understanding or even objective, you can always turn around and flee, or surrender, or give up. That option is always there.
I
And it's an
suppose.
option a lot of people will gladly take.
I suppose it is an option. It is an option that is always there, but it doesn't. It doesn't sit right with me. I remember. I remember reading the stories of the Thorns of the Black Rose. Where do you think we'd be if they took that option?
I probably wouldn't be here. Dum Dural would have been swallowed up by some many-eyed eldritch monster deep underground. And
Yeah.
the orphanage that took me in wouldn't have been established for by my scary godmother.
Yeah, I can't let that happen to Tremonto. Flawed as
Hold on.
it is home.
You should hold on to that. Because whatever machinations that these people have, it relies on you, and I guess to a lesser extent me, but the machinery that's keeping the families in power, whatever sacrifices and misery have been built upon, it can only keep existing so long as the next generation is willing to accept that.
He kind of nods a bit. And he says, there's one thing that you said earlier that I I want to clarify something.
Hmm.
You mentioned that you saw our marriage as a way for this cult to sacrifice someone else's well-being for our own. And I want you to know I don't see it that way. And not as a matter of perspective, but I mean, I don't want it to be that way. And for what it's worth, I truly do see you as an equal in all things, in partnership and business and all that stuff. And I don't. What you said about what you fear might happen, I'm not going to let happen. And I hope you can believe me on that.
Well then, Marcus, I'm very glad that now that we are in fact engaged, you have decided that I am worthy enough to be an equal to you, and that you want us to have a fruitful and prosperous relationship.
Maybe I didn't say that right. I never thought.
She puts a finger up onto his lips, and she says, "Then I want you to take a moment, clear your head, and tell me. You've heard what's been wanted from you by your family, by shadowy forces. Tell me, what do you want?"
There's a moment where you see his eyes go wide a bit, and it's almost like something like kind of clicks in his head, and his stance kind of like relaxes a bit. And he says, I want us to have the most prosperous relationship, both individually and in the business sense, and that we can make not just Tremonto, but the world a better place for everyone who lives in it.
And I think you're very attractive, and I like you. As a lady, I appreciate your ladiness.
Have Marcus make an insight check.
Oh.
Man, I'm gonna be so sad when this guy dies. He's actually okay.
When he dies.
God, oh my God, we get to the wedding and they're at the altar and they kiss and he dies. He's Marcus was the sacrifice the whole time.
Oh my god.
Oh, 19.
19. Narco smiles, but she seems like a little saddened. At the same time, Marcus can pick up on that. She'll say, maybe I'm asking you to overthink it just a little bit. It seems like that answer was not quite the one she wanted, at least in that moment.
I think Marcus deflates a little bit. He knows he kind of fucked up, but he doesn't quite know how or why.
Every girl likes to hear that it's a great business decision. Not that you want her just because she's awesome.
What else matters? How to insult women in 3 syllables or less.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if he wants to like throw in some of our bard training to try and to try and get a clue before they turn in for the night. I don't know if he's brave enough.
Charisma her.
Um,
Play that lute.
play that loot.
Naruko can.
Ooh, try dance fighting. I hear that works.
Play that loop. Dance fighting, yes.
Is there a check you can make to kind of like to intuit like what kind of answer she's looking for?
See, the problem here is that you're also talking to Joe.
Yes,
And
Okay,
he's a
but-
wonderful, lovely bunny rabbit,
I'm not.
soft of a man, and he says all the right things when it's very obvious.
I'm not a smart man.
You are a
doing a really
smart
good
man.
job.
You're a smart, sweet, amazing man. However,
Wifey.
I will murder you.
in these situations where there's subtlety involved,
That's not. That's
you
not
have to
me.
remember that you're talking to Joe.
I have a
You
crab.
Yeah,
have to
you got
make the first move.
I have a
in
crab
this
in a crystal
relationship.
shop.
You do have a crab in a crystal
You're
shop.
an insurance scam? It shows an insurance scam.
Marcus,
Make
use
this
your bard
shit.
thing. Do you have silvery barbs? Silvery barbs yourself and do it again. Gift of gab. Take that back. Say something else.
He doesn't have that
What does it
spell.
look like when he silvery barbs himself?
Damn
Does he
it.
like stab himself with his little dagger? Wait.
How about this? If someone wants to donate inspiration to Marcus,
I'll donate my inspiration to Marcus.
I don't like him that much. He can flounder.
I got two. I give one to Marcus.
Oh my god.
And I'm giving it to Marcus only because I'm giving it to Naruko.
The 22.
Yay.
22, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. I think what Marcus can intuit is that Naruto and him have kind of reached the trust stage of the relationship. Like they've met each other as an arranged match. They've met each other in like the proper public social forum, but they've also like gone off and gotten to like know each other a lot more intimately in terms of like, hi, I do adventuring. This is what this is like.
Yeah.
And him being like, holy shit, wow, I've been sheltered. And it's great. But they've gotten better to the point where they're actually like uncovering a family conspiracy together, and like he is more or less implicitly trusting Naruko over, you know, one of the dudes who raised him for most of his life. Like Naruko doesn't really have any further reservations that the two of them could have a, you know, partnership built on respect and, you know, looking out for each other, but also like trying to leave their mark on the world, being more than just, you know, the nobles who came into their money from their parents, etc. Like all of that Marcus stated, she already knows. She's fine. What she was most interested was to know that whether or not the thing that came out of Marcus's mouth was, I want you. Because that's the part Naruto is still unsure on, for herself and for Marcus, of like, but do you, like, as a wife, is she who he wants to like fill that corner of his heart? And his response just indicated that he's still thinking in terms of like the noble arranged marriage kind of viewpoint of like, yes, this person is tolerable. We will be able to make good finances, which was sort of the bare minimum Naruto needed to like go through with this. If like Marcus wasn't that great interpersonally, but could at the very least not hinder her efforts as far as, you know, being the CEO of the world and maybe having someone on the side to fulfill the emotional needs, etc., etc. So, not what Marcus can take away from that is that when he talked more about, you know, like working together, Naruto was a little disappointed that he was, you know, not going in that other side of the equation.
Right.
He wasn't fulfilling the emotional part yet. He was still in the logical part.
Mhm. Which, the red flag is when Naruko of all people says you might be thinking a bit too much about this.
Yeah.
Rally, Bard! Pull up! You can do this!
So I think Marcus will pick up on these subtleties, and he'll clear his throat, and he says, I owe you an apology. For as much as I've experienced, especially going,
Which is a lot.
going
a
to
lot.
In my long 17 years on this earth.
In my 17 years on this earth, where I've experienced a lot of stuff with Tupac, let me just say.
where I've experienced a lot of plays at the Performing Arts Center. It's always been expected of me to play a certain part. It is difficult for me to actually speak my mind and to show real emotion, because that means being vulnerable, and we're not expected to be vulnerable in public. What I really want, Naruko, is I want a partner that I could share in this life. I want someone who we can share in our mutual joys and comfort each other in our mutual sorrows and misgivings, and someone that I can grow and evolve with together. And after spending this time with you, Naruko, there is no doubt in my mind that that person is you. I want to be with you, Naruko.
I don't know, it sounds like you're writing your vows a day or two early, aren't you?
I may have jotted a few notes down.
Oh, so cute.
This is probably a little bit coming from me, but you are talking way too much right now. Okay, get over here right now.
Get on this bed right now.
We're gonna fade to black.
All right. Yep.
Yay!
That sounds
Boo.
good.
Damn.
What?
Boo. So anybody
That
else?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm gonna enjoy a nice night's sleep. Sleeping like the dead. It's awesome. Love
What's
that for
Yuki
me.
up to?
What is Yuki up to?
What is Yuki up to? That's a good fucking question.
So let's consider Yuki. You chased down this dude. You tied him up. The guards caught you. You managed some fancy wordsmithing and footwork to get them to take this guy in.
fuckers.
However, at the same time, kind of denying you your quarry.
Mm-hmm.
That having been done, you make your way back to the crypt, and of all people, there's Alistair that is restrained and sitting on a milk carton, being interrogated all to hell, and now he's just on your ship in the hold. Mix that in with the excitement of the regatta that you guys absolutely crushed.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
been
we
pretty,
did.
It's been a pretty exciting day. Where does
What
Yuki
do I
find the
roll?
balance in all of this? Does she converse with others to find it? Does she meditate with herself in a tea set?
I think. The role was to decide whether she was going to go after Alistair or not, and try to convince him to, I don't know, somehow get that fucker out of the jail. But thankfully we rode low, so we didn't do that stupid shit. I think it's been a big day. I think Yuki did a lot. She got some drugs. She and Ren terrorized some people with drugs, or who had drugs. Had to hand those drugs over, which she's not happy about. I think Yuki is going to retreat to her room, which is just as she left it, just calm, serene. Her jars and tea set are set up exactly how she left them. And I think she is going to she does want to get in typically when Yuki is dealing with the feels, she would do like a workout, and she would tire herself out with like finding the balance between mental exertion and physical exertion, and by somehow tuckering out one, you tucker out the other. I think she would normally tries to do that, but being that it's late, they're on the ship, she doesn't want to I don't know, cause a ruckus and keep everybody awake. I think Yuki is going to I don't know, maybe for a little while do some like yoga-esque Tai Chi sort of stretching, so not so much of like martial arts, more of like body weight kind of balancing and that kind of stuff, to try to get out some energy. And then I think she's going to sit with a cup of tea, and think and stew and rethink and try to figure out how she could have convinced them to either let her come to the jail with them, or what should she have said when they came up? Was it smart? I think she's going to kind of like go over everything, the events of the day, and try to like figure out where she could have been a little more big brain like Naruko.
So Yuki will ponder on that over the course of the evening. So, morning comes. Hit points, ability spells, all that good stuff comes back. What is the plan as the sun rises?
Is Professor or Reverie doing anything overnight?
Sleeping.
Got nothing.
Smart.
Oh, I finally get to change the little date on the calendar.
Yay!
Oh my god.
Damn.
Today is Thursday, May 27th.
How many days to wedding?
The wedding is on Sunday, so
Jesus.
3 days.
3
This town's
days.
gonna be burned to the husk by the time we actually get to the altar.
That might not be. I mean, we could if we get to the Red Hoods and they just like have a little Word document of like, hey, by the way, we talked to these guys. We're like, oh, that's it.
I'll be honest, half of the reason for going to the Red Hoods is not even like whether or not it's the most sound plan we have, it's
Oh, no.
literally like, well, it'll make me feel better.
Yeah.
Dude,
Hey, you guys, we've got to do something. I'm choosing my spells for the day, by the way. So.
Hey, I actually changed my spells for once. I almost never do that. I changed one spell. I put one spell in.
I've changed 2 so far. I know we're going to the Red Hoods, so I'm trying to figure out. Would daylight be a good option for everyone? You think?
I have a horn light now.
Well, we know that there's gonna be like mist in there.
If they cast that like void hunger of Hadar thing, does daylight remove the darkness from it?
I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Let's see.
Oh, I have some scary spells right now. I don't know where these came from.
What, you scary? No, the void.
So,
No, these are like just regular spells.
something like a Hunger of Hadar spell. No light, magical or otherwise, can illuminate the area of the spell.
Can we still see magical darkness with it? I have a new accessory for my horn. I want to see if I can use it to see shit.
But that's the thing. The daylight spell says that if it overlaps with an area of darkness created by a spell of 3rd level or lower, the spell that created the darkness is the spell.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I didn't read the daylight spell, so
That's
yeah,
fancy.
yeah, that would take care of that. Mm-hmm.
There you
Okay.
go. I love that for
I'm
you.
thinking daylight. I will keep Revivify and Sending.
I only read
Okay.
one spell, not the other.
Huh?
I only read one spell and not the other.
There you go. Alright.
Let's see.
Back up to the stairs. We all meet upon the breakfast table. In the breakfast nook.
I had notes. Hang on. Let's see. Yeah, so to recap, Silas would have told you that for those of you, for anyone entering the premises that is not in possession of a crimson coin, all of the corridors and the rooms in the guild hall will be filled with fog, making them heavily obscured. Doors are warded doors in the area are magically locked, and some stairs you may find hard to get around. He does also mention that on the main floor there is typically like a desk man, like a guy that sits at a desk and it's almost kind of like the doorman, but
Like a receptionist?
ish.
Like a Stanley cameo?
Kind of. So that's what Silas is able to tell you about the Thieves Guild.
So Naruko has one coin and Yuki has the other?
Yeah. I know
Sounds
you
good to
can.
me. They're our heaviest hitters.
I mean, if it's just gonna be fog, we can make our way through. And we might be
Yeah.
able to dispel the fog.
It's possible.
Or like, maybe there's like an artifact, just throw it out the window or something.
We can certainly see.
Throw it out the window.
I am thinking of a spell. Let me find the spell. Who can cast it? Bard, Druid, Sorcerer, Wizard. There's a spell called Warding Wind, which is pretty handy because basically 10-foot radius around you, it kind of hedges out like gas, vapor, fog, and other such things.
Cool.
But I don't know if anyone in our party can make use of it.
I can't.
You can?
I don't think it.
No, I cannot.
Yeah, I don't think it's for clerics.
But I mean, we can just go to we can just go there and just kick the door in.
Yeah,
And
we
see
can just
what
be
we
a pain in
find.
the ass. We're good at that.
I mean, at this point, fuck it, right? Plus, we know that they've got the apprentice like weirdly asleep, and like we need to get her before something tragic
That's
happens.
true.
Especially if like all this talk about exchanging coin and the sacrifices that come with stuff, and I'm like, well, who's paying who to off some people? You know, the
Okay,
apprentice is of the right age.
so there are two options to us. We can go in with those of us who have coins, making use of them. We go in guns blazing. Those of us who don't have a coin just deal with the fact that they're going to be at a disadvantage with the local defenses, and then as we acquire coins, we hand them out to lessen that effect. Option 2 is sending in the couple of us who have coins for to make use of subterfuge to try and acquire coins for the rest, and then start blasting.
We could send
No,
people.
we
could
do
send
not
people
have the
inside.
best track record with sending.
We are so bad at
individuals.
subterfuge, guys.
But we could send people in, and then maybe they can figure out the lay of the land at least, and that gives us a little bit more
Bad at sneaking.
to know what we're doing, rather than just
But
going blind.
As always, if they run into trouble, they need to be able to handle that trouble and get themselves out.
Or
I
yell
have a
for help.
thought. I have a thought. In a word, Triceratops.
Is it a plan? I love a plan. I love when Yuki has a plan.
So Yuki votes for number 1.
I'm
if we
down with
send-
number 1 too.
If we send in like the Professor and Reverie can disguise herself, Professor can disguise himself, and they're both really
want
well
Reverie.
versed in magic. They could go in and see, like, disable traps or check for things, or at least get like be able to say, well, this is a hallway, and it goes and branches to the left, you know, and it
would
gives us
rather
at
not
least a
hand them
better
Reverie.
idea of what we're going into.
Mm-hmm. So that is the potential benefits. The con to that plan is leaving the professor and Reverie unsupervised to attempt to deceive
But Reverie can also just
the criminals.
jump outside if
What
she
could go wrong?
Most things.
Aside from Reverie being eaten.
I don't think the house is going to eat you. Probably.
I feel like that's a start for a problematic item.
I mean, these are this is very likely the source of the things that tried to eat her most recently.
Very
I would
likely.
agree.
So I think we should take a quick vote here. Who votes for direct assault and who votes for stealth team?
Spell team.
Direct assault.
Yuki?
I mean, come on.
Triceratops.
Direct assault.
Okay. Professor?
Direct assault.
Reverie?
Is Marcus gonna vote?
Direct assault.
We're dragging him along.
It doesn't matter anyway. There's 4 direct assaults already.
Yeah.
We're
Fucking
out.
chaos. Crew, let's
Yeah.
go.
And most importantly, the two people who were put forward to go on the stealth team are voting against the stealth team option. So I think
Yeah.
that
That's
I
because
just-
we have experience with stealth and we suck at it.
Well,
So
we haven't tried it with these 2 people yet.
No.
all right. So we're going to stick to our specialty. We're going to take the direct approach. Our question then is which of the two of us should have the coins?
Naruto and Yuki are heaviest hitters.
I think Noriko and Reverie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to have it. It's fine. Yuki will figure something out.
I think with Yuki's speed, she would be an asset to be able to see where she's going. She could even call out things if we need her to.
Doesn't Yuki also have blind sight up to like 10 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yuki also is a monk and can do a lot of dope shit when someone's right up next to her. So she doesn't need to be
True.
able to see
Somebody's
far.
got, somebody's got blind sight.
Alright,
Oh,
fair.
Arby's got.
Yeah, I was gonna
blind sight,
say I don't. I have dark vision. I don't have blind sight.
Hey, I have some blind sight because I have an item that we all got off of you at the fair.
Yeah, Yuki didn't get one of those. She
You
lost
did
that
not?
game. No,
What was
she
it?
lost that game.
No, that wasn't blind sight. I think that was the lantern that gives you 10 feet of dim light, even in magical darkness.
Mm,
Correct.
maybe that
Yeah.
was
Okay,
it.
you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No
You're
blind
right.
sight.
Damn it.
I think
Ooh.
it's just Arby has blind sight, right?
No, he does not.
Oh,
Huh.
I thought somebody
He
had blind
has-
sight.
Good?
Jade has dark vision up to 300 feet.
Yeah, but that's not going
Nar-
to help in an obscured area.
Dude, I don't even have dark vision.
Narco
Which is why I have a
cast-
crystal.
Question for Joe.
Huh.
The sea invisibility spell.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a viable countermeasure to the fog?
We'll look it up. See invisibility. Invisible creatures. Creature impossible to see towards the hiding. Oh, now that's interesting.
Ooh.
That is interesting. To the Google, what do you say?
I love this thing.
But would see invisibility let you see if someone was hiding behind a bush?
So, the text on see invisibility says, for the duration you see invisible creatures and objects as if they were visible and you can see the ethereal plane. The invisible condition is defined as, in 5e, is defined as, your invisible creature is impossible to see without the aid of magic of special sight. For the purpose of hiding, the creature is heavily obscured. So that kind of makes it interesting.
It's extra fun because with the 5.5 thing, they changed the hide action to give you the invisible condition, which means this spell literally prevents people from hiding from you.
Yeah.
A weird bit of rules interaction. Granted, we aren't into the 5.5 stuff yet. But as far as like, because I have been trying to keep an eye out for spells Naruto can use to like augment her vision for such situations. See invisibility is like basically the only workaround I have access to for the fog situation. So it's up to Joe whether or not it offers any assistance with that. I already have sharpshooter, so I ignore cover. But I
Right.
don't think it does anything for obscurity. It's like a separate thing. Weird. Well, I asked the rules question, so Joe's going to be indisposed for a while. Jenna, are you feeling better after?
I am feeling better. I'm feeling better overall for sure. It's just a matter of like this cough is still going on, you know? And I'm still like if I'm talking too much or too long, I get a cough. And then
You're doing better?
I'm going through tissues
Yeah.
like crazy. But otherwise it's really I'm so much better than I was before.
Good.
I was like dead on the couch for a solid like 2 weeks. I couldn't do anything. And I was getting better and then got a fever again on like last Thursday night. Got worse. And then Friday I was I was down again. Like it's like I got it all over again. Thank goodness we went to the doctor. Or was it Wednesday? I don't remember what day it was. Whatever day it was that we like. I don't think it was Wednesday night. Maybe I got a fever again. Not a high one, but it was like 100.3. So not as high as it was when I originally got it, but
When we were at the doctor, she said 103, and I was like, no, it wasn't 103.
I said
we would be going to the hospital.
I didn't mean it. I said I thought I said 100.3, and I was just like 103. I didn't. They left out the point part because my brain is melting in my head.
I saw the doctor look at her like, what the fuck?
No,
Like, no.
that's not what I meant. I think the highest my temperature got the first time was only like 101,
Let's see. Okay, so
101.5.
So the things I'm reading here is that heavily obscured area, it doesn't affect like the creature in obscurity. It affects the creature trying to look through the obscurity, effectively giving them the blinded condition.
Mhm.
So I don't think see invisibility would work for a heavily obscured area.
Cool. I think based on that precise wording, Yuki has to have one of the coins, or else Joe will have blinded her character, and we can't have that.
Motherfucker.
I don't want that to be a thing.
Don't
That sounds
spoil
terrible.
it! You spoiled it for me!
You literally just got better. I don't want to
It's
have
not
to run to your house
blinded.
and beat your ass.
You're not blinded. You just
Yeah.
everything's like it's all foggy.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah, you're not
Also-
blind. You can see the fog.
Yeah,
Fog, and you can see
Sure.
them like right next to you.
you can
I'm
see
not
that.
getting involved in this.
But also, like, honestly, who is going to be the best person to have these coins during this fight?
Mm-mm.
Do you want Marcus and Brutus to go to break in with you?
I mean, yeah, they're in too deep at this point.
Yeah,
Okay.
bring them.
Bring them. Show them.
I don't necessarily need one. Fireball hits everything.
Including
You
your
maybe
friend.
want to have one so you
Who do
know
you think
how
you are,
big the room
Suzume?
is before you cast the
I also
fireball.
think Reverie might need to have one in case someone's after Reverie. We're going to the place where we know that there's probably a clone. And they're actively trying to get her.
Yeah, I mean, these are all valid points.
Fire with the rest
I
of
also
someone
want.
else.
I also think though that like if we're going into a place that if you don't have this magic, if you don't have this coin that lets you see, and everyone else is going to be like, everyone else is going to see fog. There's got to be something that's happening that makes that happen. So we might be able to like take care of that situation somehow, or like with another. Like I have daylight, and that might help. I don't know.
Daylight won't work on the fog, but a dispel magic might suppress the effect within like a given room or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's like, or if like at least gets us in the door, and then for other people to like start searching around.
Mhm.
Who's gonna be the best options to like not only fight if there's everybody here, but like to be able to find things quickly.
I have a professor. He's good at finding chaos.
That's true. I do
Yeah.
have detect magic that I can throw at will, so even if I can't see anything, I can at least like feel around where stuff is at.
So
If
from
these
that
if these
standpoint,
coins are magic, we could find more coins that way.
yeah. So if there's some sort of magical bullshit that we're trying to subvert, who are the two characters most inclined to be able to work on that?
I mean, I can do some dispel magic, but I don't need a coin to do that. I don't think so.
I have dispel magic and I have detect magic. Are the coins magic?
Probably.
Coins are magic items, yeah.
So I can cast detect magic to like try to lead us to finding coins.
Narco does not have those cool high-level spells yet, but she is an artificer, and Joe is very bad at telling me no. So,
Very bad at telling everyone no. But it's fun.
I've only got detect evil and good and detect thoughts, so it's not super helpful.
Detect thoughts is helpful though because if
Oh,
you
yeah.
detect thoughts, you can detect if there's other people around us.
You'll find the people. That's
Because
awesome.
you can still find the people. You can still know that there's a person there even if you can't see them.
That
Because
is
Yeah.
like your detect thoughts is a 30-foot radius, I think. I've
Oh,
used
that
that
sounds like a
before.
plan.
Be like,
Yeah.
are there people
Yep, 30
here?
feet.
Detect thoughts.
Yeah.
Like a
30 feet.
location.
And if there's a person, as there's a person at the door inside, they probably have a coin. So that's a third coin we could probably get right away.
Love that.
So there's potential for a third coin almost immediately.
Yeah, the more of these people we like immediately murder, the more coins we can acquire.
Exactly.
Now we put it into gamer terms.
Say
Let's go.
less. Say
Farming
less.
coins.
So from that standpoint, maybe it should be Naruko and Yuki. They tend to be the most proficient for roughing up people.
Say less.
That's what I'm saying.
Wreck shit, done.
I don't know. We could also we could also just put this as like a poll in the Discord to vote on before next session,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
because we're hitting our end time right now anyway.
Yeah.
Everyone gets to choose 2 people. 2 people get to see. Everyone else figure it out. You'll be fine. Promise. Totally cool.
Yeah, with that we've hit a little bit almost 11:15. So yeah,
Woo.
call that a session.
Awesome.
Woo.
Woo.
Welcome back, everybody. It feels good getting back in the seat again.
I feel
Yeah.
So good to be back.
I missed you guys.
I missed you.
I miss you.
I hope everybody who is not feeling well will feel better very soon.
Yeah.
And I will take nominations for this evening.
Jade and her psycho self.
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
not.
Yeah, yeah.
How was I psycho tonight? I
Okay.
was very calm, all things considered.
I was very calm with the darkness and stars in my eyes as I
And
carved
drew a
into his
fucking
head.
sigil on his goddamn forehead. Yeah, no, that's total normal Jade
Technically, I
stuff.
carved it into his soul.
Oh,
You just
that's-
saw it
yeah,
on his
that's
forehead for a
better.
moment.
That does not make it better. That does
I
not.
think it makes it.
walk
I
it
think
back.
it makes it pretty good.
Not even
Mm-mm.
remotely
Who
better.
doesn't want a blessing from their god permanently branded on their soul?
Not that god.
Yeah, because you shouldn't be worshiping a devil. Now
Yeah.
whose fault is that? That's your fault. But I will take your nomination.
There you go.
I also
You and
like
your baby
Naruto
like-
trying to like convince Marcus to like do the right fucking thing for like Tremonto, for the people. Like I really like that
I
whole
feel like
interaction.
Naruto didn't really need to convince Marcus to do the right thing, but it was still a good interaction of like them
Yeah.
talking about like what is it that you really want?
That
Like,
was sort
What
of
do you want from all of this?
that was sort of the end product of quite a few days of events of showing Marcus some different sides of the world and kind of growing from it.
I also
like-
want to say, like, I really enjoyed the professor tonight of like seeing what Jade was doing and still reaching out.
Mm.
Like, didn't hesitate at all to like take her hand.
Yeah.
Friendship.
Friendship.
Just best friends now.
Best friends. Look out, Ren.
Professor, where are you going? My chaos bestie.
We're having tea. But yes, but Naruto's tonight was also very good.
Yeah, I'll go Jade Narco.
Yeah.
Ew. I could have killed him. I want you to know. I had a 4th level spell ready.
We know you could have killed him. No one
Mhm.
denies that. Thank you for not going full crazy on us. I gotta take off for the night. You guys have a
Ed.
good night.
Good night.
Have a good night.
I too have to jump off. Good night, everyone. I love you
Good night,
all.
Mars.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
Thank you for joining. You are safe. Feel better.
Ugh, everything sucks right now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I gotta work
I
tomorrow.
knew that this was going to be like a whole session of just like talking to Alistair.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, yeah.
Ah, he's so frustrating.
Oh, this session might have shown that Nargo could be a top.
Oh,
This session?
Well,
With Marcus.
is
We knew she was a top in other
Yeah.
aspects of her life.
it's one point of evidence.
I don't know. It might be slightly ambiguous because like she in that moment she wanted him to pursue her.
Mm.
Just because she can be a top doesn't mean that she is a top.
So she's a power bottom.
She can be whatever she wants to do. She's a goddamn CEO.
Power bottom.
Power bottom.
Oh dear.
Power walk. This pile of gummy bears is back. But yeah. Oh, that was good though. Oh, I've missed our time together, friends. Also, the fact that the wedding is still 3 days away means we're still here for like another month.
Not necessarily. I'll be completely honest. I don't have. It's going to be pretty freeform after your attack on the Red Hoods.
Ooh,
it'll
that means
No.
there's gonna be stuff here.
Joe, were you not paying attention? That's the problem. You make it freeform. We fill the space.
Have you learned
take up-
nothing?
We take up space, motherfucker.
Have you learned nothing?
We're gonna spend 3 sessions talking about our feelings. Well, actually, no. One session has to be the bachelorette party. If Narco decides to still get married, and it turns out that like the family isn't like, if it turns out it was just the butler and like a secret plot of like, no, I know what's best for you, so I will guide you throughout the ages, kind of a thing. Because you know how evil advisors be. Then you know, like we still have to have a bachelorette party for
I'll
Narco.
show you the ways.
Like, I'll show you the ways.
Yes.
Ah, Jafar, my most trusted advisor. It's you and your evil parrot.
Joe,
How
Joe,
could you betray me?
Joe, your only hope right now is if our shenanigans over at the Red Hoods actually like definitively resolves most of the current plots here, and that those like few days we have left before the wedding, we genuinely just kind of futz around and like do a bachelorette party. Otherwise, we are here for another half a year minimum.
Well, I mean, Narco's eventually going to have to get married, right?
Yeah, that'll be in like July real time.
2026.
I mean, okay, so there's 3 days. There's 3 days left. 2 days now because this would be day 1 of 3 because we slept overnight. Now we're gonna go do the Red Hoods. We know we can take a day in game and make it like 4 sessions long. We know we can do that. So, depending on what happens here and what we fight, because we could get to one of those clones and they're like, "Aha, yes, I have turned the whatever.
I will show you the ways.
I'll show you the ways," and then
Oh my gosh.
sorry, I can't do that voice.
Honey.
No dying.
I'm not dying. Coughing. It's different, I think, somehow. Oh God. Okay, I got it. I didn't take my NyQuil. I need to. I got NyQuil Severe. It's cough's present. What the fuck was I just talking about? All right, so we get into the Red Hoods, right? We get in here. The doorman is like asleep. We just steal his keys. He doesn't even work here half the time. And then we get in. We just destroy this place, right? We just destroy this place. We're gonna find the apprentice, and she's gonna tell us that she was seduced by Lorenzo, and we're gonna be like, Lorenzo's a bad guy. She's like, no, he's not. I love him. And we're gonna be like, no, you're dispel magic on you. And she's like, oh, what has happened to me? And then Lorenzo comes out of the shadows because he's dramatic like that, and it's a bookcase that slides out, but there's no bookcase behind him. It's just an empty room with a chair because he's lame. And he comes out and he's like, "Moha, you fell right into my trap. Now hold still for 5 seconds." And then we just kill his ass, and it turns out to be another Echo. And then in the empty room with just the chair, we find on the hidden panel underneath the chair is a bunch of letters from fucking Rufus telling him like, "Oh yeah, go to this town and utilize the cult of Moloch." It's a bunch of kids with thinking they're being badass and they're not, but promise them power and give them some like little trinkets to make them follow you. You can really get them going if you get Alistair involved. He's been bitter for years about the fact that he's a bastard son of the Goldwaters, and all he has to show for it is a stupid butler position. And we got that.
Well,
Or-
shit, now I have to rewrite the entire half of this.
Or other part of that is like use the cult of Moloch. It's all of them. It's literally everyone in this fucking town, and then we should have
Yeah.
done what Narco said and just
Just
bulldozed it over.
just
We cannon
the
fire
place.
the whole time. The whole time.
That's kind of what I imagined is almost like going to happen with Reverie when you get to the Red Hoods. It's like, the building's not going to be a problem if the building's not there. Fireball.
So I cast Fireball
Well,
on the house.
I swear, like right now, Naruto trusts none of the 3 families, because she has no idea how deeply compromised any of them are. But the thing that really annoys her is that she doesn't have a bead on like the what I don't remember what her official title is, but the lady who's like the mayor of this town, or like the Doge, but she's like more of a figurehead because the families hold the real purse strings.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But she's still the head of like the government. Like, really fucking wish I knew where she was on the power dynamics. Like, because if she had beef with the families, like she wanted less power for them and more for like the actual government, like Naruto would be going straight to her in a heartbeat. We don't know. Not really a good way to know without it basically like essentially walking into the lion's den again.
Right.
So
Well,
I love how I've managed to make everybody a suspect.
wasn't that your goal?
Kind of.
Then congratulations. You managed it. You did it.
Honey.
It's fine. Good. Good.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna repeat myself.
Oh dear.
I'm better. I'm fine. I spit.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, I need to go to sleepies.
Oh,
I know.
stay awake.
But it's so early.
It is not early. Says the one who took a fucking nap. Shut up.
Yeah, a nap, which is probably the most he slept in like 2 days.
Listen.
It was
They are
about
wrong.
equal to how much I slept last night and the previous night.
Oh my gosh.
Do you see what I mean?
Henna.
Yes, yell at him. Get him. Yuki, get him.
Ben.
Get him.
Hmm?
Get
you
him.
keep
Fuck.
saying that, Ralph.
Yuki,
What?
Triceratops.
Fucking go to
You're-
sleep, Ben. Sleep.
I
Sleep.
took a nap.
He took a nap. He's awake now. He's gonna be awake
Well-
for 4 more hours.
Fucking. I don't know, man.
If you stay up, maybe you could convince him to go to bed.
That is absolutely adorable and not gonna fucking happen.
It could though. If you loved me, you could.
Really?
Oh.
That's where we're gonna fucking go in? Really? If you love me.
But I missed you.
I missed you too.
How am I supposed to talk to you if you leave?